Johnny Gargano coming back, freaking The Miz being abducted by Dexter. We're going to get into this right now. Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Capsule, where you're going to be getting your weekly dose of pro wrestling talk. And I'm your host, V. So welcome back to the show. Today we're going to be talking about last night, Monday Night Raw. I'm not going to be giving you a play-by-play of each and every match from yesterday. We're just going to be talking about all the stuff that I know you guys want to talk about when it comes to last night, Monday Night Raw. So first things first, let's cut to the chase. Johnny Gargano makes his return to WWE, and he's now on the main roster. So when I heard that song, because it was after commercial break, when I heard that song, freaking Rebel Heart, oh my gosh. First and foremost, the fact that he's back and he's on the main roster is one thing. Then you have him coming out with our favorite song, Rebel Heart. Like, I'm telling you, it's one of the few rock songs that just get me so freaking pumped. And, like, I love the pop of Canada. Like, when you heard the music and he came out, like, the crowd was going off. And I thought that was so freaking awesome. And I feel like that was such a smart move for him to come back to a special Raw like this one, because they're in a whole nother country, and I mean, it's all of Canada together, and we know they watch NXT. Like, come on, come on, it's NXT, especially the black and gold brand. So that was one thing. Oh my gosh. So this means that if Johnny Gargano is back WWE, he's on the main roster, I don't see why Candice LeRae wouldn't be coming back. Granted, she did have a baby, but Ronda Rousey had a baby and she's back. You know, Becky Lynch had a baby and she's back. So I don't see why Candice LeRae wouldn't come back unless she doesn't want to. But I don't see why not, especially with Triple H, head of creative. Like, that's Papa H. What was funny about this segment is when freaking Theory came out. And the moment he came out, I was just like, oh shoot, like, what is this? Like, Austin Theory is a full-on heel at this point. Like, no one, like, he's annoying, gets on everyone's nerves. He's such a heel. And I'm like, him and Johnny Gargano were super close on NXT. It was like his dad. So it was funny. It was like when the crowd was like, who's your daddy? Which was so funny because they were doing that junk with freaking Vince when he was on the show. So I was wondering, were they going to fight? Was, Theory going to, like, kind of pipe down? Because, he looks up to Johnny Gargano. So I was just like, what is going to happen here? And, of course, they're talking about old times at NXT. And even with freaking, like, A-Town Down being such a cocky son of a gun, like, I love the fact that he was still trying to, like, kind of smooth it up with Johnny Gargano. And when he was trying to give him a high five, freaking Johnny, did he, like, kick him? Yeah, he gave him a freaking super kick. And the crowd freaking went off. I was not expecting him to kick him like that. Kick him at all, but give him a super kick. So I can't wait to see how that's going to happen. Now, they're going to have beef because, like, we're not used to that. They were close on NXT, and now they're kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to take Johnny Gargano to knock Theory down a few pegs or a whole bunch of pegs. What I'm also wondering about is, now that Johnny Gargano is back at WWE on the main roster on the same show as Ciampa, I'm wondering if there's going to be a reunion of DIY or what. That would be so just rich to see. Or if they both are, like, at each other's throat, that's going to be dope too. So regardless of how that storyline goes, I know they're going to cross paths eventually. Like, it has to happen. It has to happen. Like, it has to happen. Like, you can't ignore that. They were freaking tag team together on NXT. And it just has to happen. So I'm wondering how Triple H is going to do it. Is it going to take Johnny Gargano to kind of wedge a separation between Ciampa or The Miz? And then he'll be kind of like, he'll be friends with him, or he'll see what's going on and just pick Gargano over The Miz. Or they're going to have beef, and then The Miz is going to be in Ciampa's ear about Gargano and all this stuff. I'm looking forward to the drama that is going to happen in these coming episodes. And speaking of The Miz, dude got abducted. The Miz got abducted by Dexter Lumis. He finally got his hands on him. And honestly, I was expecting, because before I even get into that part, before that, because it was a tag team match between Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles, who were on the team, versus Ciampa and The Miz. And first and foremost, I think that is so dope that Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles were tagging together, because last week there was a match. They were in a match together for the US Championship. So I feel like that was so dope to have them in a match together on the same side, because regardless, like, it makes sense. Like, I remember before Vince would book like the same people who are in a match together or have beef with each other, they'll be tagging with each other. And I used to hate it because it wouldn't make sense to my mind. But with this makes sense, because even when they were having their United States Championship match last Raw, Ciampa and The Miz came out, so it makes sense that they would be having their tag team match this past Monday that just happened. So genius, come on, continuity. But AJ Styles is out of the ring and he's near a barricade, and he gets attacked by some unknown person. And I was trying to figure out, I even tried to pause it. I watched it on my TV, tried to pause it and see who it was. Then I tried to go on YouTube and see if I can pause it and zoom it in. I'm like, I don't recognize this person. Like, who was this person? I thought it was like some weird fan. I was just like, wait, he just like attacked AJ. And then of course, security just like nipped that junk right in the bud and took him out. But I was just like, who the freak was that? Was this real? Was this fake? Was this part of the storyline? So I took to Instagram because that's all I could think about. So I got footage of it and then I put it on my Instagram and I asked my followers, follow me on Instagram if you don't follow me, okay? Follow me. So I asked the people on Instagram because I posted the video up and I'm just like, who is this guy? And there's some people that replied and liked it. A lot of people liked it, but there's only a few people who replied because they were as stumped as I was. But there was one person in particular who said that it was probably just some random local wrestler who was hired to basically be a diversion for what was to come, because right after that person attacked AJ and AJ's like, what the heck? And the security and the WWE officials took him away. Then across from AJ, where the Miz was laying down, and he was like getting up and he was right on the barricade, dude came out of nowhere, took off the mask and was just like, let me just abduct you, and pulled the Miz out and like dragged him all the way up through the crowd to the back. So I'm just like, it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense if that was just a random local wrestler who just was a part of the story just to be a divergent for Dexter to confuse us and throw us off. Because like at first I thought it was a fan, and then after seeing that comment, by the way, thank you guys, everyone who replied to that post, because I was freaking stumped. So it does make a lot of sense that it would be some sort like this hired random local wrestler from Canada or whatever to play that role and throw people off, because you assume, because Dexter Lumis has been following AJ for the past couple of Raws, so we're thinking it would be Dexter until the camera goes on him and there's some other dude. I'm like, that is not Dexter. Like, he's got a little ponytail. And then I saw some people saying it was Escobar, and I'm like, That doesn't seem like Triple H would do something like that. That's kind of lame to have him, like, he came off such a high from NXT only for him to do that. Like, there's no continuity. It doesn't make any sense with that. So yeah, I'm just going to say, until we see otherwise on news or wrestling news, or if they talk about it on Raw next week or even on SmackDown on Friday, like, if they don't talk about it, that's where I'm going to go with. It was some random local wrestler who was hired to be a divergent for Dexter to attack Miz and take him away. So yeah, the Miz is abducted. So that even makes a lot more sense. So now the Miz is missing in action. I don't even know if he's going to show up. Like, how are they going to do the storyline? Is he going to show back up on Monday, or is he going to be like hidden for a while, or what? But I feel like that's perfect timing, because now Ciampa's by himself, and that leaves room for Johnny Gargano to come in if they're gonna be, back to being, DIY two peas in a pod. And even so, if it wasn't that he was gonna have some beef with Johnny, it can go like I said before, you can go so many routes with that. Like, that's some juicy content, some juicy storyline. So Bayley finally had a match last night, and it was with Aliyah, which makes sense because Aliyah is Canadian. I forgot. Overall, the match was okay. It was okay, and I'm gonna be totally honest. I feel like that match was supposed to be for Bayley, because Bayley needed to be reestablished in the ring as, she's one of the 4 horsewomen. She's been out for months with injury, and now she's back. And this was supposed to establish her dominance, as a wrestler, as a veteran for that matter. And I feel like this match was more for putting Aliyah over. This is just my interpretation. Putting her over, but not really putting her over. I was a little confused. One thing I will say is that Aliyah, I feel like that was one of the best matches I've seen her do on the main roster. Usually she's a freaking jobber for people, but we actually got to see her in the ring, and she wasn't bad. She was not bad. And of course, Bayley was going to win, but it was nice to see Aliyah get some shine, especially in her home country. And did you guys notice when she started, like before the match started, they rung the bell, like she was like crying and getting emotional. And at first, because this was before I remembered she's from freaking Canada, and I'm like, why is she crying? Why is Aliyah crying? Like, is it because she sees Bayley as a role model? She looks up to Bayley? I don't get it. And one of my friends was just like, yeah, you told me she's from Canada. That's probably why, because her family's there. And then you hear one of the commentators say, yeah, her friends and family are here. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But, like, that kind of takes me out of it. I remember Bianca did that, too, for WrestleMania when she was having her match with Sasha Banks for the title. Like, I get it. People get excited and get emotional, and it's overwhelming. Like, I'm an emotional creature too, but I don't know. That just threw me for a loop. And then I could see that Bayley was seeing her get emotional, and Bayley's trying to stay heel, but then I could also see her trying to hold back and being empathetic to Aliyah. Like, I could see all that. Maybe it's because I'm a woman and I always look at face. I'm always looking at emotions and facial expressions. But that was something that I definitely noticed. You guys let me know in the comments, did you notice that too? Like, she was legit like red eyes, like emotional. Like, she wasn't like boo-hooing, but she was trying to hold it back. But I could definitely see it. She's not new, so like it's just that she's getting more shine and she's getting more and more matches, and I feel like the more she does that, and people like Bayley, like wrestling people like Bayley, she's just gonna get better and better and get a lot more. Hopefully she gets some wins. I want her to win something, at least by herself, not with Raquel Rodriguez, say Gonzalez. Like, I want her to be in a match by herself and actually win a match by herself. But I do think that kind of sucks that she lost. it does suck that Aliyah lost in her hometown. Like, that kind of sucks. But, you know, they always do that. Like, WWE always be having people lose in their hometowns. Like, what is that? I mean, granted, Edge didn't lose. Of course, it's freaking Edge. Edge won the whole match with Damian Priest. But, I mean, duh, it's Edge. Like, you wouldn't build up something like that only for him to lose. That would freaking suck. But speaking of the whole Edge and Damian Priest match, which was freaking dope, but what I want to freaking talk about, I keep saying freaking. At the end, when Edge won, and of course he was getting beat up, you know, Judgment Day came out, getting their licks in, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where is Beth Phoenix? Like, when is she going to come in and, you know, show some dominance, be like, don't touch my bed, that's my husband. Like, I was waiting for Beth Phoenix to come in, especially since Rhea Ripley was in the ring too. And she came in, sure enough, with a chair. And I was like, whoa, is she about to chair toe somebody? Like, I love that. I love that Beth was able to get into the ring and be like, hold on, fish.
Hold on, fish.
Because I was just like, you can't just stay on the sidelines and watch your husband get messed up and freaked up by Judgment Day. Like, come on. That was a good highlight. That was a good highlight for the main event. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Monday Night Raw, because like I said, it was a lot of twists and turns, and I definitely enjoyed it. So let me know in the comments below what you thought. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes, because you know me, more episodes are coming. I will not let you guys, leave you guys hanging. So don't forget to do that, and I will see you in the next video. Signing off. Bye.